we're back. We are going to talk about Nemesis
Yeah,
pet.
hi. I forgot to mention my cat, but he is a hater and does not like the lights, the cameras, the action. So you will not be seeing him like everybody else here, but his name is Monty and he's very
Where can
cute.
we find him though? Like, surely you have pictures on social media.
Pictures, I definitely, like everybody always makes like a little Instagram for their cat. Like I kind of want to do that because it's like kind of
Yes,
funny. So I might do that for Monty because he's a
absolutely.
little sassy diva. Love him.
I love
Would like
that.
to see it.
I have two cats. I have Sapphire, who that's my look is based off of. I also did like a half regular face because I kind of wanted that to like tie into our panel a little bit today. Um, and then I have a kitten named Ajax. We got him in September, and he is an orange cat. And if you all have an orange cat, you just I don't need to explain anything. You just know. So, but yeah, let's get into it. So I want to start the panel off talking about our experience and kind of what we define womanhood. I think a lot of people think that womanhood is about being feminine or presenting yourself a certain way or fitting into a social norm, kind of like my face right here. Like you can see, I just look, kind of plain. It was kind of weird to do makeup like this, but womanhood can be so much, and womanhood can mean so many different things to people. It can mean, putting makeup on every day, or it could be, I want to wear a flannel and I want to wear some combat boots and I just want to go kick ass. Like it can mean so many different things. So I kind of wanted to ask you all, Holly, would you like to start? What is your definition of womanhood, and what is that to you in your experience?
Sure, would love to start. I mean, I am very much like, I feel like I wear kind of many hats when it comes to how I want to present in a feminine way. Like, there certainly are times where, yeah, I want to wear lipstick and put on eyeshadow. And there are other times where I definitely just want to go out in cargo pants with no makeup on and put my hair back. So I don't necessarily like think about, like, I guess how I live my life. I don't think about how femininity impacts me as a woman. I think they're just like different ways that you can present and still be the same woman that you are, regardless of your appearance. But yeah, I mean, I think just like about my experience on the internet as a woman, right? It certainly has had a lot of changes from like who I was before coming on the internet. And now I think as a woman, you definitely are, you experience a lot of things like, harassment or finding people who, maybe don't want to support you because you're a woman or whatever. But I think that there are also so many different opportunities that we're awarded and are able to find community with womanhood. So that's
Absolutely,
a long-winded
absolutely.
answer.
It's wild that you mentioned like, so I was just thinking too of like how we've all changed from starting stream. Because I was talking to my dad recently about some stuff, and he's like, you present yourself a lot differently than you do, Monk, because I've had to fight for my space and have to like learn how to use my voice a lot more like quickly, strategically, but like more effectively. And it's just, yeah, I've learned so much from being a part of like the online community, and especially being a part of things like this where you're really like sharing your voice and hearing other people's experience. So it's really, I remind me to touch base on that, like our experience of like what's like the main thing we've noticed that has changed us. Because I think that's so important. Chelsea, what is your definition of womanhood, and whatever you feel like mentioning with that?
Absolutely. I don't want to take it too deep, but when you sit back and think about what womanhood is, it's usually a perception of what society sees you as. So I pull off I draw from just the women before me. So of course my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, and my sisters, my
Chills.
cousins. I know it's it's it just shows like the examples they've laid before us, and the obstacles they've had to overcome because society saw them this way, and how they use that either to their advantage or just overcame the disadvantages and taught me how to be an even stronger woman, a better woman, or just overall be the woman I wanted to be in the future, no matter what that looked like. Because now it's so different from,
Right.
our previous mothers and grandmothers. It's more open. You can kind of breathe more now, and that's
Right,
great.
right,
So that's
right.
what womanhood means to me. It's ever evolving, ever changing, and it's because the women behind us have carved a way to that.
Right, right. It's even changing now as we live our lives. You're seeing things being different, like how we grew up. We're like, oh, this is how I'm going to be in the future. And you're like so different. Like, even I feel like last month I'm a different person. It's
Yeah.
always something different. Yeah. That's yeah, I just got the chills from what you said. Like I'm just feeling it right now. Like I'm cold now because I'm like chills.
I told you the cold will
Wow.
get you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The emotions I feel it.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for sharing that. Nemesis?
I have talked about this a lot on my channel recently, so I'm so glad you invited me to this panel. Just because I am so early on in my transition of becoming a woman, and I think there are so many facets to the joy and the celebration of becoming a woman that so much of society looks down upon. And I love celebrating and feeling that emotion. I'm a Pisces too, so like I feel through everything and I feel emotion more than anything. So especially with like taking hormones and like feeling the womanhood come through my body is something so beautiful and magical that I know it sounds corny, but like I just love being a woman. But also on the flip side of the coin, a lot of people, I take inspiration and I draw from a lot of women in social media and video games and like our culture. So I think there is this interesting conversation that we can either dive into, or I would like to like pause it for people's minds. But it's so interesting that society really pits a lot of stereotypes of women against each other when we don't have to, because we can just celebrate a bunch of women. Like I think of an example of video games, right? Like there is one side of the coin that characters and women, they want to be so over sexual, and I love that side of a woman. I love seeing a woman celebrate her femininity and her gorgeousness. But then there's another side of the coin that like people like to be like cargo pants and just like chill, and another beautiful side of being a woman. So I think there's an interesting dynamic there of what social media likes to celebrate and what doesn't. And I love all of it. And I think we need to love all of it. And it's frustrating that we're not there yet, but I just want to posit that. I don't know. Like
No,
I've
I
been
love
talking
that.
about a lot
Thank
on
you.
my channel because
No, yes.
it's a lot.
Before we dive into that, it was so cute when you were just like, I just love that. Like you just lit up when you had that chance. I was just
I love
really,
being a
really
woman.
cute. Yes, I love that. You just, oh my God, it was so cute. No, you're right that there is like, especially like for me growing up, you mentioned like the sexualizing, the like cargo pants, but there's something that stood out for me was like, I've always been a woman that has been loud in my mom's my chat, or not my chat, but in this chat, sorry, in this chat. And she can speak and tell you all I am very loud and obnoxious. And I've always found like it's interesting to see women that are like more like quiet and like soft spoken, that is still fighting for things, but they're a lot more. And I feel like they get also missed for a lot of things too. And I think that's also something beautiful. Like if you've all played Final Fantasy X, Yuna is very much like you see her womanhood like go from like being quiet and having to fight against all these things. I'm not going to spoil it for those that haven't played it, but if you have, it's such an amazing game. If you know, you know. But you see her going from this like quiet and reserved woman to having to fight for all these things, and then in like the next game you see her like, you know, filling into that like sexual fantasy and her like finding her voice in a different way and kind of really like standing out. It's really cool. Like I don't know, there's a lot I can take from that. And I think that's like there's so many different layers and different kinds of women that all should be represented and talked about. That it's like what you're saying, you know, we all need to be like appreciate the sexualization or like that kind of like, you know, loving that, because we get such like we're like, oh, you can't, you know, show skin. You can't do this. You can't, or you're not showing enough skin. It's either like you cannot win, right? Right. Anyway, enough about that. Unless anyone else wanted to add to that, but there's a lot to unpack that. I'm like, we could do a whole separate panel talking about what Nemesis mentioned. We could go on for days about it. Her, did you want to add to this? Your womanhood, your experience, or whatever?
Well, for me, womanhood is more like about accepting yourself as a woman, because there are days that you tell yourself like the society is telling me how a woman should look, but I don't feel that way. I don't want to do that. And then, but it all starts with you, because I know it is a struggle once the society is telling you this is the way a woman should be. But then I'm like, am I willing to fight these like norms or whatever the society is telling me, and accept myself and deal with the fact that I am a woman? Like, it doesn't matter whatever the society is telling me or like how a woman should be, but it's like I am. It's just, so I like, me accepting myself and being my true self is the definition of a womanhood. So that for me is like, because I've been um it as something like touching back to something that Chelsea said, like my mom is someone that is very strong, very independent woman, and she believes in like women should be like the only ones making a decision for themselves. But my grandmother was more of, you need someone, you need a man to be a woman kind of thing. So it's like seeing that evolution and then understanding my mom teaching me that it's like, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you are the woman. You are the girl who decides how do you want your womanhood and what the definition of womanhood is to you. So like whatever other person has to say about it, it's like, well, but I am the woman at the end of the day. So I'm the one who decides what my womanhood needs to be.
Right, right. You can always be influenced by other people, like I feel like having the support, whoever that is, right? Whoever that support is, it can be a man, it can be non-binary people, it can be other women, it can be whoever you feel fits that role. Maybe it's support in video games. There's also that. I know that's a big part for us. And I think at the end of the day, it's that choice of, it comes down to you, who you want to have be the support. And it's interesting you mentioned about your grandma. It's different times, right? But at the same time, we had people saying the same things that are now, and people are like, things were so different back then. I'm like, but were they though? Because I feel like there were definitely people fighting for these things. It's very, very interesting. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, and I really love that. Thank you all for being here. I love women.
Love women
So
too.
let's get in. I know we've kind of been like some positive, we've talked about a little bit of negative, but let's really dive into the positive things. With gaming, about womanhood. Well, how is that pushed us forward? How has that created these amazing connections? Holly, let's hear it from you.
Sure. I mean, I am so grateful for the opportunity to like just have found Twitch. It's changed my life in so many ways. And one of them is certainly being able to build community with lots of different aspects of community, but in particular, women. Like some of the closest friends that I have now are women on Twitch. And it's just so cool to have that niche, because I think from the outside looking in, right, for folks who might not be super familiar with what community on Twitch looks like, gaming isn't necessarily a field where you like automatically think, oh, this is going to be super comfortable for women to go into. And for me, like, I didn't really
The opposite
grow up.
sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think like in a lot of ways, it's like an intimidating field for women to want to introduce themselves into. And I like certainly wasn't, a gamer growing up. I didn't start streaming on Twitch because I wanted to enter like esports. I wanted to be a part of community. So that has been a true blessing, is finding women on this platform and folks who are allies to women. I think it's just so crucial to have that anywhere, but particularly in gaming.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so Twitch is awesome, and it's hard for us to step into this, but it's been a life-changing experience. I think all of us can agree to that. Yeah, Chelsea.
I'd have to say for gaming, it's amazing the amount of the network. Let's go right back to community when it comes to gaming. A lot of women that I've met in the space have always just been so exemplary, and they are one of the most supportive demographic on Twitch. I'll talk on Twitch specifically, that I've ever met in any space. They are so helpful, so supportive, no gatekeeping, at least as far as I'm involved with my friends, and everything in between. And it's just created such a fluid space for me to just hop right in and be like, wow, it's the easiest transition I could have had, because I was able to go in, and one of the first streamers I followed was a woman. And they just introduced me to more women and more women. And I'm like, oh, wow, I've only been here for like 3 months. But my God, I've got like 100 streamers that I'm following and they're all great. And we all like play games together and we're friends. And I just think it's a testament while women really aren't the major demographic on Twitch. Like we really have to fight for everything we can get here. We take up so much space when it comes to just the front facing aspect of it. We're hosts, we're professional players. You see us everywhere. So it's fighting that stereotype that women don't play games, which is something I thought we had done away with, you know, like a decade or two ago. But I think that's the best part of a woman being on Twitch, especially because now that it's not just a, I mean, you know, we literally broke the whole stereotype that Twitch was just for games. Like
Right.
women did that. Like women came and was like, okay, y'all, can we talk? can we are we just gonna sit here and watch me play for, can we talk a little bit? Y'all want to see me like cook something? Like I can make them, like, come on, like you want to face paint? Let's do makeup, you know, like that. Allowing that flavor to be brought into the space was, I truly feel, just all because women entered Twitch. And I think it made everyone better for it. That's the bonus. I think that's just the magic. Women come in and they just make things better. Yeah.
Yeah. That's-
Simple.
It's true. Just easy as that. That's simple, y'all. We just come in, we do it good, we do it right. I know you mentioned like women came in. That reminds me of I think it was Iron Mouse was like the one of like the first, I think they broke the like subscription count for Twitch. Women.
Period.
Right there. That's all I gotta say. It was really cool to watch that. I don't know if y'all watch her, but she's amazing. Absolutely great. Nemesis, what's some positive experiences you've had?
Well, I feel like I touched on it earlier, but I also agree that Twitch is a great platform for us to speak our minds. I love being an unapologetic woman. Like I like feeling my emotions and living my life and not caring. Like even in my youth too, I just wasn't like, when I came out and then I came out again and then I came out again, like gay, then non-binary, now trans. Like I just don't really, I live my life for me and I love the woman that I am and I love the women that I surround myself in. So that's how I feel about it. And then also like just being able to use my voice as a strong trans woman in the community, because there's not a lot of it in the gaming space, unfortunately. Like there hasn't been a single trans woman to be at an award show on stage, like presenting and being like, hello, like I am here. So, and there's not a lot of trans commentators. Like we need more of it. We need more celebration. And I love being able to open that door. I've had so many conversations with people that are like, I've found my love and myself from your unapologetic content on YouTube and Twitch and everywhere for just being unapologetic and open about your transition. Not about everything, but I am very proud of who I am, and it's nice to share some things, just not everything. But I just
Right.
everything is great. I don't know, everything's greater now that I'm a woman.
I love that though. And you've done so, like, I mean, we all have, right? But I've seen you do so many things over the years. Because I started like following you like right when the pandemic was hitting, and I've just seen you just flourish and grow and do all these things, and it's just really, really cool to see. Like I love all of y'all, but I just remember watching Nemesis like very like early on into things, and it's really cool. I'm really proud of you. I know we don't really
thank
talk,
you.
but I'm proud of you. And you've just killed it. And yeah, thank you for just being so open and sharing. I know so many people appreciate that, but just thank you for sharing your voice and, you know, mentioning like we don't get like Pentiment don't get to support, like to be on those award shows and things like that. Y'all step up your game. Step it up. Anyway, let's hear some positive experiences you've had.
I think one of the most like positive things that happens in my life constantly is being celebrated for being a woman, but like not just for like, oh, you're a woman, so clap. It's more like for being in spaces that people celebrate just me being me and that makes me feel so comfortable. Like when I do my makeup, like the drag community too. Seeing me do some silly makeups and people being like, oh my God, women just do it better. And that makes me feel like it's so silly. But at that to me, I'm just like, oh my God, it does like, I don't know. And then just being able to come to like stream and feel my feelings, and then just like it's not the day. And then even that being celebrated by some people, like knowing that I have to support for so many people. And that's a space that I feel like Twitch created now. And you started to see it like more now. Because like 4 years ago, for example, when I started streaming 5 years ago, I think, it was completely different. It was more of like, I don't know, like more questioning of what you were doing. Now it's more like whatever you do, we support you. And that to me is like such a celebration, and it's such a like joyful moment that I always remember it. Like I always carry it with me when I stream, when I do any content, no matter like who it reach or what, like the numbers, it's more like it's very glorious to feel celebrated for being a woman in any kind of space. That's
Right.
yeah.
It's like no matter the size, you've impacted so many people. And I think a lot of people forget that. Like, that regardless if you have 2 viewers or if you have 1,000, you are still impacting people and you're touching people, and then that spreads, like the kindness spreads and those things like that. So and you were talking about like being able to speak and talk about things. That's something that's so nice about Twitch, is that I feel like I'm sure you all have had situations where you're like, I feel this way. Um, and you can't like speak about it all the time about like at home or like with your friends and things like that. But Twitch is like that space where you're like, I can openly talk about like womanhood or my makeup or drag or things like that. And you don't get looked at weird because it's such an open, like it's still learning, like we're still growing and stuff like that. But you're having this opportunity to share with like-minded people, and even talk to people that are different and don't always have the same opinions, and it's a lot more accepted than it is in person. So I think that's something that's really, really cool about Twitch. I know for me, one of the biggest things that I found that I really was a positive experience about Twitch and like gaming was that I used to do drag like in my local area, but it was so hard like years ago to be booked for shows or things like that. It is very much a very struggle, like it's very difficult. And coming to Twitch, I've been able to touch so many people, and so many people be like, women can do drag? Like what? And then seeing all, and I'm sure you've all have, a lot of y'all have experienced like, oh, women do games or this or that. It doesn't have to apply just to drag, but they're like, I want to start doing this because you inspired me to do that. And I think that has been so cool, seeing so many people just like blossom and grow into their person because they saw someone else doing it. And I think that's really big for us content creators, is doing what we do, which is being women and going out there and inspiring them. I love that. So let's talk about how, I feel like we've touched a little bit on how womanhood has defined us in gaming, but I feel like we could definitely dive into this a bit more. Holly, what do you think about that?
Can you repeat the question? I'm so sorry.
Like how womanhood has like defined you in gaming. Like we've talked about before, how we've changed, right? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to take this question in a direction that it probably isn't supposed to, but it's the first thing that comes to mind.
That's okay.
I'll just
it's okay.
Like when I think about how like I personally have evolved since starting in gaming or finding Twitch, I mean, I feel like I've grown so much in the past 3 years as a woman than I have like ever previously before. And certainly it's partially because of who I've kind of found community wise, or the interest that I've developed on Twitch. Something that you just spoke about in For Prayers was how it is being a woman in drag. And I love drag. For those of you that know me, like drag is something I've always been so passionate about. And I feel blessed to be a woman now working behind the scenes in drag. That is like a dream come true for me, and being able to support behind the scenes and doing that has really opened my eyes to a wonderful network of women who are all working to support this industry, whether drag artists or producers or, you know, bookers. Like, it's just so cool. So that's just something that's come to mind. But yeah, no, I definitely feel that I've evolved just so much personally and professionally through networking in this industry, in the gaming industry.
Right, right. I think a lot of people don't realize how much women work behind the scenes with drag and how we've really like fought for those spaces to have, and either whether it's supporting by going to the shows or doing like the back end stuff, we get so like ignored about that or not acknowledged. Um, I guess to no, we have I think we have time for that. Okay. Chelsea.
So I'll say when it comes to just touching I'm repeating to make sure I got it on point.
Right.
Women in gaming and the impact it's had on me
Yes.
and how my womanhood has defined my journey in gaming.
Yes, yes.
I would say, I mean, I can't say like the most obvious thing I can point to is my collaboration with Twitch and the Women's Guild, because that is just literally the definition of impact of being a woman in the gaming or streaming space. And it's humbling, I'll say, for somebody to look at you and they'll say, oh wow, yeah, I could see you taking on members here on Twitch and you advocating and guiding them to a better path here for an extended amount of time. Like that's like even a year just alone, having that kind of it's like I don't tell people I'm a guild leader. Usually I'll say I'm a guild advocate, because I'm not here to sit back and tell people, okay, this is how we're gonna do it. I'm like, all right, no, what do you want? Because going back to what Nim was saying, yes, I speak on women and I very much am in it for every woman here in this space, but I'm also in it for all of those layers of what a woman is. So I can say that women have made such a huge impact, but we still have work to do when it comes to our trans community. We still have work to do when it comes to the Black community and every community in between, non-binary, all of that. We're still doing work with our Native American women, and the list goes on. So the biggest impact that it's had on me, besides me getting to go up for Women's History Month for one of their front page slots and just shouting I love women for 2 hours, and watching people come in angry saying, oh well, you're sexist, and I'm like, oh well, explain to me why. And while you do that, I'm going to talk more on why I love women, and just keep doing that. Like, those things have defined me, and it's definitely just strengthened my resolve. So I think it's made me a much hardier person. I'm happy to say that getting here, playing games, enjoying both sides of what a woman is, because we touched on that earlier, and also reflecting what people do to women, making us pit each other against each other. How they, you've heard that saying where, oh, you just want to be the only woman, you just hate that woman because she's a woman, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's such a weird stereotype. So fighting all those stereotypes, still appreciating what we get in our games and embracing all sides of a woman, and then getting to do this big grandiose job of getting to work with so many different types of women in the space. It's how did I do that? I kind of wrap myself up in all the dresses and makeup.
No, I love that. I love that. No, you touch on so many things, and it's like yes, everything.
Yeah, it's basically been 80% of my whole career, if I'm doing a fair estimate, and I love it, and I want to keep going in that direction, because there's just so many things that I think we need to improve on, but also so many things we just do so well that we just need to see highlighted. My favorite thing right now that we're doing, we put up like so many members on the front page carousel. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. We just get to do it. Like, go. People need to see you. You need to be highlighted. Yes. And that's it. And I think that is what we need to embrace more. We need to see more women just being themselves and celebrating them for just being them.
They don't need to be something, right?
Exactly.
You don't need to
just
be
do it for
something
Black
to shine.
History Month. You don't have to just do it for Women's History Month. You don't have to just do it for, when we go and talk about Trans Visibility Day. Like, you do it any day. And that's what I want. I want more of that.
Right. There's always that like, oh, you got to be good at something to be acknowledged. It's like, well, why can't I just like exist? And people just be like, I like you because you're just chill. The vibes are vibing. Why do I have to be like good at makeup or Fortnite or League of Legends? Like, why can't I just exist, be a good person, and
Exactly.
just vibe with you all and have a good time? We sometimes we just want to vibe, you
Yeah.
know?
Thank you for letting me be long-winded on it. You touched on
Oh,
something
yeah.
that's not just like going up to now, but like it's current and on my mind in the
Right,
future.
right.
So I just threw out like my action plan and all that other stuff.
Something I want to touch
Yeah.
base on, I think a lot of people forget, is they say like, oh, leader. It's like, um, we as content creators and women that, you know, hold spaces and things like that, we can easily influence people really easily, right? And I think so many people think that when they step into this space that they have to be like, this is what you're supposed to do. But really it's more like, hey, what do you want to do? Like, did you ever think about that? Or so many people will be like, oh, I want to know what you've done this or that and that. It's because I want to follow your path. It's like, actually, you should follow what you want to do. And I think so many people forget that you don't have to follow in other people's footsteps. You can see where they went and go, I like what they did, but I want to see where I go. And I think so many people forget that. And that's like, I think the thing about being an advocate versus stepping up as leader, being like, hey, you need to follow what I do, versus, hey, here is the floor. You have so many pathways you can take. I think that's something so important. So, yes. Nemesis, would you like to talk about your experiences here?
I feel like I'm also gonna take this question in a completely different route.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So can you reiterate it one more time? I'm so sorry.
So we're kind of talking about like how womanhood has defined you in gaming or Twitch, because we don't always have to be gamers, right? We can, just
Right.
talk and stuff. We can be ourselves. So it's kind of just how it's like defined you in spaces, let's say for Twitch and things like that.
Well, I think a lot of the spaces we touched on this earlier, but we do have to fight for our spot, especially because it's such a male dominated society in a lot of these areas. And a lot of them I'm very passionate about. I'm very passionate about gaming and these press conferences, and that's a very male dominated thing. I'm very passionate about the FGC, and that's very male dominated as well. And I'm also very passionate about professional wrestling, and that's also very male dominated. They still fight for women's matches being longer than 5 minutes. And all of these spaces, it's so hard for women to really fight for their spot. But I do like to be unapologetic and loud. I do like to use my voice for that. And I also like to look at the women that are currently in that setting and support them. And I think you can be supporter. You don't have to, you don't have to be in it all the time. You can be a supporter and help other women and just celebrate women, because women are hot, amazing, great, talented, brilliant, never been done before. Like, spill it. But I look at a lot of video games. I look at a lot of wrestlers. I look at a lot of women that have inspired me, and I take those into account and put them into my lifestyle. Not that I'm completely consuming what they are doing and doing it for myself, but I do take inspiration. There's a lot of women that are so strong over the years and do things even in video games. If they're even a coded character, like I think of someone like Laura Croft. Like, Laura Croft is such a strong, empowered woman, and she's such a badass bitch. I think of somebody like Bayonetta, and Bayonetta uses her like femininity to get what she wants, and she's such a hot woman and everything. I think of Harley Quinn. I think of like all of these strong women. I think of trans women in gaming, Poison from Street Fighter. I take all of the inspiration of these gorgeous women. I celebrate them because we need more of it. And if we don't celebrate it, we're not going to see more, because that's just how the system works, unfortunately. So I try to be loud about it, because I love all, like Birdo in Mario Kart, like Birdo trans icon. Like, we need to just so many video game characters, people in like the wrestling space and the FGC, in like, there's this one girl at the Game Awards that does it every year, and she's the only woman on stage. I'm like, we need to support her, because we need more stunning, like we need gowns, we need makeup, we need hair, we need everything, we need gorgeousness. Like, the men just come out in slacks, and I'm like, oh my god, mama, we need some more girls in this space. Like, come on, where are the women at? So that's how I take it. I take a lot of inspiration from women. I like to celebrate women, so there's more women. I like to like in video games I only play as women, so it's very that teased. But that's my take on how gaming in the space and how I interpret it in my womanhood.
Thank you so much. I love that. I love that we're all taking things different ways. Her.
Well, I'm gonna take it to a way of more like the way it has like changed me or shaped me. It's more into like speaking my mind whenever something because I've been like in the side of the community where you're like it's very dark. It's very dark for being women, but also a lot of people are like or a lot of women feel more comfortable just not speaking about something. And I understand sometimes you don't want to fight about it. Sometimes you don't want to mention, you don't want to go on social media and be like arguing with other people about creating more spaces for women and stuff. And I used to be a little bit more like that. Like someone will make a comment about women and very misogynistic stuff, and I'll be like, that was so rude. But I will say like between my teeth because I don't want to argue. But the way like being in this community, in the gaming scene, is that like now I'm not gonna take it anymore because I've been in the part where I'm like, I'm gonna speak my mind and I'm gonna tell you that this is wrong. And if you don't like it, I mean, we don't belong in the same space. That's simple as
100%.
that. But now that's the way it has shaped me. Like now I will go to like if I'm in a chat and sometimes I'm more of a lurker, but like sometimes if I see something like a comment that I don't like and I feel like it's insulting someone, I'm gonna be the one like fighting in a way. That I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna put in the front fight because I know probably this other woman is not gonna be comfortable saying something, but I know I can tell she's uncomfortable. I can tell this is something that she doesn't want to experience. Um, so that's something like I guess for some people will be like, oh, it's like you become more aggressive since you play video games because that's what they say. Once you start like speaking your mind, you're aggressive now. Like before, I used to play video games a lot before, but now that I like found a community, now that I do it more often, I like play a lot more. And some people would say, people that know me, like you're more aggressive now that you play more video games. And I'm like, it's not that. It's just like now I'm tired. Like I experienced all of these other things, and now I'm tired. And I decided that I had it, and now I want to say, whenever you tell me something misogynistic, I'm gonna say no, no, that's not what I'm not gonna be just like, oh my god. I'm gonna be like, no, this is not what I want to do. And that is like the way that I feel. I found like that voice through gaming, through community, through makeup, through Twitch, and so on and so on. You know.
No, 100%. And I love that you're taking like and then that you're tired and you're saying that because it's exhausting. It's exhausting being a woman. All
Yeah.
right. It is very exhausting. But you're still taking that and you're fighting and being like, it's like we've found a way to communicate and to feel more comfortable and say, hey, that's not okay. We're not going to be down for that. And I think this is a perfect segue to kind of the next thing of like the hardships. We can talk about negativity if we want, the experiences that we've had. I know for me, what I particularly do on Twitch, I get a lot of hate for being a woman, and I do GTRP for those that don't know, and I play this character who's very much aggressive and upfront and quote unquote rude, but I try to have her not fit into the social norm of like she has to be nice because she's a woman. I literally had someone in RP being like last night being like, you're supposed to be nice, and I fought back and I was like, is it because I'm a woman? He's like, wait, and I'm like, who said I had to be nice? Who said I had to be nice to you for no reason? But that's RP. But I've gotten a lot of like hate specifically from all that stuff because I'm a woman and I'm doing something different. And I've gotten that on Twitch. I remember my mom was I had something kind of happen, like I got stream sniped. Was like, honey, like that was a targeted attack. And I was like, oh yeah, I deal with this all the time, mom. This isn't bothering me. But before, years ago, before Twitch, like talking about how it's impacted us in gaming, that would have bothered me. I would have been so upset. But I've become like I guess a thicker skin, which is unfortunate for that, but I also just don't care as much as I used to, which I think is really it's a blessing in disguise, but it's also like, why am I dealing with that? Because I'm a woman.
Mhm.
So that's my little tidbit on that. Holly, would you like to talk about negativity or whatever you kind of feeling from that? I know we're taking things different way. Whatever comes to your mind about it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there definitely is. I mean, there's lots of harassment on this platform, and just being a woman on the internet that comes, with the territory. I've personally experienced harassment, short term, long term, hate raids, surrounding being a woman. I think one of the like more obnoxious things that I continue to see all the time is other people's kind of perceived standards of what a woman should be on the platform. Like I see a lot of comments of, it could just be a woman hanging out, like playing Fortnite or whatever, and someone will comment on what she's wearing. It's not enough. It's too much. You're dressed up too much. You're not wearing any makeup. It's like you can't please
You wear too
everybody.
much
And
makeup.
yeah, literally, like it could go either way. And to your point, yeah, I think people just develop a thick skin over time, and those comments certainly don't get to me in a way that they used to. Like it's really easy to kind of shake it off, but it's still, it still is one of those things where like, yeah, this is definitely coming from like a deeply rooted misogynistic place. And that certainly is just a reminder of there's some work to be done on the platform.
Absolutely. Chelsea, would you like to share?
I can absolutely share on that. I think I definitely vibe with exactly what you just said. You definitely get a thicker skin being online. And I'll say there's this there's that stigma of being not only a woman but a black woman. And on top of that, there's just these extra microaggressions that I'm sure everybody gets, and it's just a different flavor between every different community, but there's always just some way that they got to poke at you. So I love that her said I had enough, because I snap real quick on my people. I'm like, "Oh, okay, you want to talk about how I played this part? Okay, you provide screenshots of how you did better. Go ahead, send me a clip. I'm about it. Like, go ahead, because I challenge them. I'm like, if you're gonna sit here and critique me, because you wouldn't do that in this other dude stream. I promise you, you wouldn't. Unless hey, some people are really good at just like putting egg on their face and making it jokey, but normally you don't see dudes dealing with that, not the way that like you would come in and just assume that a woman isn't able to do a trick shot, or oh yeah, I'm finally on Street Fighter 6. Yes, I could play some unknown, like I'm on it. I love my judo queen, and yes, I can beat your butt. It's like fighting those it's literally fighting those prejudices or those stereotypes that they have about you when you sit down in front of the camera, or you're choosing to share what you do in front of hundreds. And people don't realize that's a skill too, like sitting there playing a game and talking to people. That's
Pressure.
right, it's distracting as heck.
Multitasking.
I'm over here multitasking like crazy.
Especially if
But
pets, they also
oh,
don't
right.
make it help.
She chewed my cat, chewed my wires, she chewed my Ethernet cable, and she had my stream going down for weeks, and I didn't know why. Yep. So I don't want to hear nothing
Yep.
from y'all when I got to deal with the front over here in my home. Okay. And I gotta deal with my nails. All right. I don't want to hear nothing.
It's hard being a woman up in here, especially with pets.
Period. So yeah, that's that's like the general stuff. I try not to, my general guide, and something I've learned over the past few years, because I've been streaming for 5 years now, is I don't. It used to get into this pity party type deal where some people were looking for you to trauma dump, or to yeah, they would look for your, I called it trauma porn, where they were just looking to kind of feed into your experience, and just like, oh yeah, that just must be so bad, tell me more. So I don't do that anymore. I don't. I did it in my own comfort, like in the comfort of my circle with people that I trust, but I don't do that in the space outside of very, very trusted people, because a lot of people will feed off of your pain. They'll be like, "Oh, that's just so sad," and then they'll move on to the next. So I don't give people the satisfaction. That's something that I've learned. I am very proud of what I've accomplished. I always, always, always am fighting to tell people or just show people that yes, I'm absolutely worth it and that you're not going to demean me with any comments or just ridiculousness. So it's constantly having to be your number one like cheerleader, if that makes sense. Like you have to be the one to gas yourself up. And I know people will try to humble you. People will definitely try to humble women. You go and you tell somebody you're the number one woman in X or you're the best at X. For some reason, when a woman says it, it's a problem. But there's a difference between being humble and being confident and having respect for your peers. You can be proud of yourself and still respect everyone around you. You can say you're the best and still respect that somebody next to you is doing amazing things. So there's a whole bunch there's a whole bunch of weird stuff that I've learned, weird funky social things I've had to grow into. I could go all day, but absolutely trial by fire. You just have to do it and learn what's comfortable for you.
There was so much to unpack that I don't even know what to like.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
It was a lot.
No,
Yeah.
no, it was beautiful.
can I
It was
actually-
it wasn't
Can
bad.
I go
Please.
off of that?
Please.
Like,
Yes,
can I
no,
just go?
please.
Because that's
Please
exactly
go.
what I want to talk about.
Yes,
Please talk
let's
about
do it. Yes.
I think protecting your peace is so important. Like, especially with those people that have those like microaggressions or that passive aggressiveness or like, and you don't have to apologize for protecting it. Like, you can just ban someone or block them and you don't have to give an explanation. Why should you? Because if they're going to try you, see, that's what I like to do too. I like to test them. If you're going to say something rude, which you would never do to your fave streamer, your fave male streamer, and you would never do in someone's face in real life, why can't I clock you in real time? And that doesn't rub people the right way because I'm unapologetic and I will do it because I'm going to tell you what the tea is. A perfect example of this the other day, somebody said something very ignorant in my chat. And I said, that's not what you say. And you shouldn't say it. And you need to be held accountable. And they were like, ugh, you get riled up so easily. And I was like, let's take in what I said. I didn't say that. We're going to reflect on what I said. And you're going to hear what I'm saying. Or you can leave. And you shouldn't have to elaborate further because, like her said, we're exhausted. So I think protecting your peace is very important, especially for us, especially us girls, especially us gays, our LGBTs, us, everybody. We just need to do what's right. And like, when is enough enough? I just don't like, some people just have the audacity to say certain things, which they would never do to a male, like their top male, like Fortnite streamer or whatever. They would never say to their like idol or like anybody. It's a respect thing. It's a real respect thing. And it's a lot of internalized misogyny. Let's wake that up. And that's a whole other panel we can talk about. And then
Oh no,
yeah,
no, I'm not gonna let it go. I'm sorry. I can't let it go. Some of y'all don't know how to talk to people. Okay.
right.
I'm gonna be real. Some of
Yes.
y'all, it's not even a man, woman, everyone in between thing. It is you don't know how to talk to people, and I'm gonna need you
Right.
to get it together. And I'm not here to teach you that. Thank you.
We
Yeah.
don't have to teach you. We do.
Yeah.
It's not our job. I'm not
Yeah.
your. You don't pay me for that.
Right.
Period.
And it's another thing that you said too is that like they expect us because we're women to be like nice and they expect us to be this and that. It's very that Barbie
Why?
myth from the Barbie movie.
Where?
It's like,
Where? Who
you
put
can't be
that
nice, we
law
can't be,
up?
yeah, I know. It's,
Yeah.
Where is
terrible.
it? Because if it exists, then by all means, it shouldn't. But if it exists, we'll talk about it. We'll process that.
And
but
they
if
never never want to talk either. It's always
oh.
they're the aggressor.
Yeah. I shut someone down yesterday. I was feeling the like I got
you
them. I
should.
got them.
Mhm.
Because went off on them. They were sorry, just to like I went off on them yesterday, and they're like, oh well, it was just a joke. And I was like, listen, buddy, you don't need to get defensive with me. Like I can tell you're being. He's like, how do you know? I'm like, because you're showing like signs of it. And he was like, do you think you can just read me? And I was like, I just did. And he shut down. I literally said it to him. He shut down. I was like, sorry. Like, don't pull that whole like, well, you need to be nice. Who said that? Who said I needed to be nice to you?
Yeah. The other something that I
Yeah.
want to mention about that was like the entitlement to assume that women have to take a joke. Like just because
Right.
Yes.
like just
It's
because you
just a
say it's a
joke.
joke,
It's
it's
just a
not
prank.
funny. Like if I say it's not funny, it's not funny. You're
not
telling
funny.
me something, like you're saying something about me, and I said that is not funny. What makes you think that I'm gonna change my mind just because you said it's a joke? No, it's not a joke. It's not funny. And then it's like the entitlement and that thing of like you have to be nice. Like you have to and then be like, haha, that was so funny. No, it wasn't. And that was
Sorry, I
like,
was in the wrong.
yeah. And that was the thing that I was trying to like say when I mean like fighting, it's not like actually fighting and going like online and trying to like, I'm not wasting my time on that. I'm past that point. It's more of like, I'm telling you, it's not funny. I do not like this. That's it. And then I'm like, I'm not gonna fight with anyone else. I'm not gonna argue and simply just letting it go. But I do wanted to talk something more about what you mentioned, Chelsea, about like the trauma porn, especially like as a black woman. It's something like very personal for me. Like it's like as an Afro Latina, a lot of people are like, now that I moved to the US, a lot of people are kind of like, I don't know how to say, but it's more like like wanting me to tell the tea about the trauma of me being here. And I'm like, I don't want to. There is probably, but I don't want to. And they're like, so how is it going? And like, I can tell when you're asking me, how are you? That you just want to know the bad thing, just to like feed on that. Because as a
They want
woman,
the drama, even though
yeah,
it's
because
not
like,
drama.
yeah, because as a woman, like there must be drama because you're a girl. Like there's like women are so emotional, women are so like dramatic. So they're expecting that this girl has to have some trauma. So it has to, and when I decide just to like, I don't have anything to say, I just want to play a game. And they're like, but that's boring. I mean, like, I don't have anything to say. But it's because like I don't trust you. I don't know who you are. I don't want to waste my time because whenever I tell you all of my trauma, you're just gonna move on to the next person and be like, her is just having a bad day. And then it's like you're laughing out of my problems. And then I'm not here for that. So now like I just
We're
had
not
it.
some reality TV. Like,
Yeah,
they're like they watch the
exactly.
drama and shit. We're not a reality TV. We're people living our lives.
I really appreciate her saying that, and it's something that a lot of streamers think that they have to lean into, and it's a double-edged sword putting yourself up as I'm the face of this DEI movement today. You don't. It's a very precarious position to be in when you are putting your face, and not saying that you are, but some people feel that way. They go and they speak for a whole people when that's impossible. It's an impossible weight to carry on your shoulders. And I've seen it where that'll be some streamers' best numbers. That they'll go and they'll talk about their experiences. People feed into that, and they'll give them this kind of false support, which I think can be so harmful because you don't ever want you don't ever want to please the people who oppress you. You just don't. And giving people any form of satisfaction or some feeling of where they couldn't ever possibly relate any false relation to your story. Yeah, I would hate to ever see anybody ever go down that path again. I warn people against it now all the time. Anybody who has any story of any trials, troubles, or tribulations, write a book so people can buy it. Then that'll serve right back to you. But I'm so
Make their
glad you
money.
said that. Make money on it. Don't give it out for free, especially. But I'm right there with you. I've been through and it's ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Sorry. I spoke
no,
to me.
no, but
No.
it's the thing is like sometimes at the end of the day when we decide to
Yeah.
stream, it was my decision and I choose what to talk about or even not talk
Exactly.
about. I decide like if you then there is always a problem. If you talk too much, it's like focus on the game. There's
Oh,
always
try me.
just
Yeah.
play the game. And then if you play too much the game, it's like so you don't have anything to say, you're not interacting, and then it's like I'm playing the game. I'm giving you the content with the game. I don't want to talk about anything.
Period.
Like just because I go live or because I'm streaming or because I'm on social media doesn't mean that I'm sharing my life. I'm just gonna share the part that I choose to like. That is something that like I have the decision, and it goes beyond also like my body, my choice, my stream, my choice, my things, my choice. Everything is my choice because it was given to me. Like it's my own thing. So it's like in all of that, like having to explain that, it's exhausting. And that's like touching into the negativity of that. Like I just don't have to explain this to you. Like simple as that.
It's a
Like
privilege. It's a privilege to get to know you, and it's a privilege to be in your home. And I just ban people nowadays who say, "When are you playing the game?" I cut. If you know me, we're getting into it an hour and a half after I finish talking. You know how this
Ooh,
goes.
another thing is
Yes.
when you're on the starting soon screen or something and you're sitting there like finishing your makeup and they're like, where are you at?
Where you at?
Come on, hurry up. I'm like,
Like,
don't
where are
rush
you?"
me. What is your
Right?
problem?
Think
Like,
you are.
I take as long as I need.
exactly.
First of all, are you subbed? Okay, then all right, we might be able
We
to
can
talk.
talk
And
then.
that's also another thing. I don't if you're gonna like I know like a lot of banter is like sarcasm nowadays, but if you don't like
Yeah.
and you don't have to subscribe to me or whatever, but if I see your first chat message is something shady, sarcastic, and rude, I'm not entertaining that. I don't know who you
Period.
are and walking into my house just being
And
weird.
that was jokes. I don't care if you subbed, you will be banned. Do not
Right,
talk to me.
right.
Right. Take the money and run.
Period. Yeah.
No.
Ugh.
Wow. Thank you so much, everyone. And her, yeah, what you're saying about the space thing, that is so important. Yeah, you all had so many amazing things. I can't even like it went so different directions, and I love that we touched on so many things. We do only have a few minutes left, so I kind of wanted to us kind of wrapping things up. But as we wrap up things, I guess, what is something we just one thing we can say that's going to like help us fight against what we've talked about in this whole panel? Holly, would you like to go?
I mean, I think Nem touched on it really well. Is just continue to uplift each other and like shout from the rooftops and celebrate each other. And that is ultimately how we're going to get more visibility on the platform and just continue to build community. So I think she nailed it on the head.
Thank you. Chelsea.
I have so many things to say here because truly I feel like it shouldn't be our responsibility to, just lift each other up. Like I really think we should hold everyone accountable and uplifting women. It should just be a natural thing. But to do the things within our power, exactly what Nim said as well. We just did a big 80 streamer raid train, 20,000 like viewers across all 10 days. It was amazing, and that is the epitome of women uplifting women, sharing their communities, sharing their viewer power, all of it. And we need more of that. We need more women coming together, collaborating, meeting each other. That's all we can do. It's just link arms and run forward into the future.
I'll link arms with y'all. We can go together. Thank you so much. Nemesis.
Well, thank you guys for being nice about what I said. But I agree. We do need to keep uplifting. Just I think when it's appropriate, we can hold other women accountable if they are being inappropriate and not appropriate, because we do have mistakes. We'd all make mistakes. But I also think that we should just keep celebrating and uplifting all types of women, not just a certain type of woman. We need to love every woman. But yeah, I unless they're like insanely like problematic and gross and weird, but it's just like the vibes and tea. But
We're all learning,
right?
Yeah.
We try not to look at those people. Yeah. I try to pretend like they don't exist, but yeah, I do call them out though. You're right.
Are these our goodbyes? Are we just wrapping up like this?
We'll finish up with our names and things like
okay.
that, of course.
Like,
no,
I want to say hi.
We will say goodbye, a proper goodbye to everyone, and tell them we love them, that they're beautiful. But I just wanted us to have something to take home that's like, hey, we took all these things, but what are some, I wouldn't say solutions, but how can we contribute to assisting to better things? Yeah. Her.
Well, first I think it all starts with like keep doing what we're doing, because we're doing something right. Like the fact that we're here discussing this, we're doing something right. So for me, it's something like I'm gonna keep being me. I'm gonna keep doing something. Of course, there's a lot of things to improve, and it all starts with me. So I'm gonna be myself, and I'm gonna support as many women, as many people, not just women, because not everyone just get a pass for being a woman. And you're like, oh yeah, you're a woman, so you get my support. No, like I'm gonna support people that I know actually can help in a way, or like give us the support that we all need. So my solution is just starting the change with me. It's like it's very cliche. It's like people say the change starts with you, but it's true. It's like the first step is that you have to take it. So um for me it's more like it goes back to like supporting each other and stuff, and but we do have to like stay together, support each other, because if we're not gonna get the support from someone else, we have to prove to other people that like we deserve it and we have enough audience also to show that we belong in this space. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you all for sharing. One thing I will add quickly is we are not opportunities for people. Support, like, women should be supported because we're awesome. We are not opportunities to make money, to sleep with, to date, to benefit off of each other. But I also will say that we need people fighting. We need our brothers to fight for us, our male friends. Use your voice, your privilege to speak for us. When we let us speak first, but if our voice isn't being heard, let us always speak first. But if we can't speak or people aren't listening, you back us. And that is a really awesome way. And this can apply for anyone. It doesn't have to be for men. It can be non-binary, other women, trans, just people. Use your voice, use your privilege, your rights to fight for those people that when their voices are not being heard. I think that's also a really huge thing, that women always need to uplift. We need to uplift each other, but I think other people can without looking at them as an opportunity.
yeah.
We are not just an opportunity, but yeah, we're gonna say our goodbyes. Holly.
You ate that. You ate
Yeah.
that. That was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank
you.
That was
I literally
got
beautifully-
chills.
I can't believe
Yeah.
you sat on that and didn't say that. That was beautiful, really.
I was like sitting here, I'm like, I don't want people to just think that it's like, women gotta do all the work, because we don't. We
Yeah.
don't, and we are not opportunities.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
are
being
not
an ally.
opportunities.
Being an ally is not just like I love women. Like no,
Yeah.
actually work on it. Actually like do something for it and not just leave the work for the rest of the women because they have it. No, we need help too. So you ate
And that can also just be like silently supporting too. You don't have to be loud in the front. Like you can be
Yeah.
liking the post, retweeting,
Yeah.
supporting, just showing up, lurking. Like there's other ways to support than just being
Calling
like,
people out, even just being like, that's
Right,
not cool,
right.
and then move on.
Mhm.
You don't need to be loud. You can just say, that's not really cool. I don't really like that. And then leave. That's it.
right.
Mic drop, gone. Anyway, thank you all so much. Holly, where can we find you, your name, all that stuff?
It's me, Holly, on Twitch, and I'm Holly, but you can find me there on my socials, or It's Me Holly TV. And I'm excited. I've been a little bit MIA past couple months, transitioning with a new job, but I do have some fun projects coming up on Twitch, so really excited.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. Chelsea.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Bites. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter. I will keep calling it Twitter, and all the other platforms out there. And I'll be building a couple of computers for the end of December, and we'll be doing our 12 days giveaway. So if you want to check any of that out, because I'm a computer scientist third, because I'm Black and a woman first and second. So come on in and come hang out and be nerds with me.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Nemesis.
Hi, I'm Nemesis. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Nemesis Network, and everywhere else, Nemesis LaCroix. I am actually in the next panel, and it is a award show for indie games, the Indie Games Showcase. So if you guys like award shows and fun stuff, be sure to come out to that. It is right after this one, so I'm running right out of this one and into the next one. And we are also a official co-streamer of the Game Awards, which is this Thursday. So if you want to watch another award show, you can come out to that one, but I'm hosting the one right after this. And we do all award shows, all the fighting games, all that fun stuff on my channel if you guys like that stuff. And wrestling. And a podcast episode came out today. So support me. Hi.
Awesome. Yes. All right, her.
Well, you can find me in all of my platforms, her_Mafrodita. And I do a lot of makeup, and my whole thing is makeup, being sexy, beautiful, and just making people feel comfortable with their bodies and all of that. I love doing that too. So yeah, you can just find me her_Mafrodita. I don't have like anything major coming up, but my makeups are kind of good, if I say so myself. So you can come and like check my stream. So.
Thank you all so much. Thank you all for being here. I'm in for prayers. You can find me on Twitch and other places, but I don't really post content as much because I'm a GTA RP addict. I'm trying to do other things, but it is what it is. I'm happy with it. It's fine. But you can find me all there. And yeah, thank you all so much for coming to Stream Queen Con. All right, I love you all. Goodbye.
Bye.